It took me a while to commit to buying one of these because I already had a bike that was quite comfortable, a saddle that was good, and I just didn't think I needed one because I could do about 40-50 miles without any discomfort. But over the years, as my mileage went up, I thought, why not give one a try? And I've put about 60,000 miles on these ones here, and I just won't use anything else from now on. If you keep the tension right, you use the proof hide and you don't let them get wet, you use the little cover that they give you, because one of the steps that they do when they manufacture it is they'll soak it in some warm water, and I have actually got one wet when I was doing a race because my bike didn't have mud guards on, and it did soften the leather quite a lot, and it changed the shape at the front a little bit. This B17 Special has 27,000 miles on it, and it's just about at the end of its life now. If you look where my thumb is, it's because the nose piece no longer sits on the shackle. As you can see, the B17 Special is quite long. It's stretched about an inch longer than when you get it new. This is a flyer. I got the flyer because I've put it onto an e-bike where I'm doing less pedaling. That flyer has about 11,000 miles on it, although at that point the bolt snapped, and I sent Brooks an email and they said I can come to the factory because it's near where I live. The B17 is in no doubt a really very good saddle. For touring I will still use the B17, but because on my e-bike I'm not really concerned about extra weight, I do appreciate the extra suspension. But they really know how to make these right. There's not too much suspension, you're not really bouncing around. It's just when a pothole comes up, you are really thankful that it's there. If the tension pin on the saddle is set right, you can get an additional amount of suspension through there, off the leather top. The black one is a B17 Standard. It's about 15 years old now. It's got about 16,000 miles of wear on it. I really like how the brown ones, they don't look uniform. They develop a patina. For me, because I use the bikes every day, it kind of tells a story, and I like that. I like when I wake up and walk to the bike that there's a saddle with a story on it. But you can see they all take the same shape, and that's the unique thing about a leather saddle. If you see, they're joined at the nose piece and at the back, and the whole middle section is just suspended like a hammock. But also the sides where the Brooks logo is, your thighs are sort of pushing that inwards and stopping it flaring out, and that's kind of part of why it works so well. It's a very clever design. These are all the stamps. They're all made locally in the Jewellery Quarter, which is an area of Birmingham with a very long history. A lot of things are made in China now, but the UK and Birmingham specifically has a very long tradition of having factories everywhere, stemming back to the Industrial Revolution. The B17 saddle itself has been made for over 130 years. It's survived through 2 world wars. The one with the springs, the flyer, there isn't a breaking in period for me, just because the springs absorb the bumps in the road. But I would say about 200 to 500 miles for a normal B17. And this is a newer one that I bought, is a B66, and the one on the back is a B67. The difference between them is just how it attaches to the seat post. One is a clamps design and the other is for the normal rails. I can't say too much about them because it only has about 100 miles on the front on the B67 one, but I expect them to be exactly the same. They have a wider surface area. Generally, if you're in a more upright position, you want something with a wider surface area, just because more of your weight is going through the saddle rather than through your legs. Another concern was people were saying that they creak a lot, but I haven't had that with any of them really. The only piece that does creak is where the nose piece sits on the shackle, and every saddle I've had, I've put a little bit of grease underneath there because it's a metal on metal piece which isn't fixed, just so you can adjust the tension. I know that some people don't bother adjusting them, but it really defeats the point of having one. But there is an optimal tension, and every time you go to your saddle, no matter which bike you have one on, you really want the same feel on all of them. I don't think I can get more than 30,000 miles out of a saddle, but that's quite a lot. Although I am doing about 15,000 miles a year, so it really doesn't last that long. And when I'm touring, I'll often do 12, 14 hours in normal in just like normal shorts. Not cycling shorts, just normal shorts. And I don't have any pain. Like, I can do the same the day after. And I've done like 30-day rides, 2,000-3,000 mile rides. I know a lot of bike tourers around the world use these and are really interested in them and enjoy using them. If you're touring every day, they're probably really personal to you and important, and you'll have been taking care of them. And hopefully this gives you an idea of how they're made, where they make them, and why they're worth the money. They've also started loads of conversations. If you turn up at a bike rack or you go on the train with one and the other person has got one, it's the first thing you connect over. It's kind of silly really, but I guess people really like